Check 1, 2.
Crypto DLT with MrConectr. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell for daily content. Let's go.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. The past administration starved and almost made extinct a lot of these companies and pushed it offshore. So what we want to do is apply the highest U.S. regulatory and AML standards to digital assets, especially stable coins. And I've seen estimates that just over the short term, stable coins could create $2 trillion of demand for U.S. Treasuries and Treasury bills. To put that in context, the number's probably about $300 billion right now. We are going big on digital assets. So
the U.S. is going big on digital assets. There we go, guys. What's up, guys? It's the MrConectr back for a Friday stream, here to pump you up on Friday afternoon. Pump you up and get bullish on digital assets. Friday the 23rd of May. Let's go. Let's go. What's up, Bradley B? Already in the chat. Good to see you, my brother. We're doing good today. Just watching Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary of the Trump administration, is going big on digital assets. Why? Because the previous administration nearly destroyed the industry with its anti-innovation agenda and regulation by enforcement approach. No more, though. Digital asset companies deserve regulatory clarity, and that's exactly what we're working towards. Passing the stablecoin bill is just the start. Let's go, guys. How bullish can you get on this Friday afternoon? I know I am, and I'm doing great. I hope you guys are doing good out there. Give me a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you for all the new subscribers. You guys are awesome. Building the channel. It's going well. Let's get to the Conectr coins for today. The past 24 hours. Congrats to the casino coin holders and the hash provenance blockchain holders. And, of course, Zebek holders doing good today. Look at that Zebek. The past 30 days, they're up 215% on that Zebek. Payroll crypto. Let's go. Okay, we got Evernote in the game as well. And everything else is having a little pullback. What's not doing good today on the Conectr coin list? Of course, XPRT, guys. I know I've been into that for a while, and it almost seems like a dead project. I haven't seen much news on it, but that was the original liquid staking coin. So I'm still holding my original bag on that. Reserve rights is down a little bit. And the digital bits chain, XDB, is down a little bit today. Cool. Let's get to the news, guys. Actually, let's get to the American cryptos. Let's look at what's popping off in America right now. Hope you guys are doing great today. Holler at me in the chat. Looking forward to that. Casino coin bag holder right here, brother. Oh, good. You got a casino coin. Good deal, Bradley B. Yeah. You can get that at a good price. What's up, Proton40? Good to see you as always. Good to have you in the chat. Which American crypto is popping off today? Again, Zebek Network. Up 7% today. What's good, Lizard King? I'm good, sir. Good to see you in the chat. Don't forget about Aave. I know World Liberty's into Aave. But everything else is kind of in the red today. We had a little pullback, after that good bullish momentum. And then, of course, the Trump admin came out with the tariffs on the EU and Apple. He wants Apple to make our products in America. Can you blame him? What's wrong with that? Tariffs are optional, guys. No one has to pay tariffs. If you want to buy foreign products, you do. But that's about it. Look at Theta Fuel in the game there, and as an American crypto. T-Fuel. Wow, I hadn't thought about that one in a while. I looked at streaming on Theta. You've got to participate in the, running a node to be able to stream on Theta. I was looking for, different decentralized ways of streaming. I was looking at DLive as well. Be nice to have a decentralized streaming, you know, where individual creators can have their own platform instead of being beholden to another platform. But, you know, it is what it is. What's up, Sam? Good to see you, brother. Bradley B's in Florida this weekend. Cool. Granddaughter's graduating tonight. Congratulations, Bradley. Be proud of that for sure. Cool. What else is on here? We've got the top gainers, not just in America, but across the whole ecosystem. This one called 4, whatever that is. The Big Git token, Bonk, Pyth Network, Pepe, and Virtuals is all in the green as top gainers across crypto. Let's check out the different categories in crypto. What's popping off the most? The category-wise, we've got Telegram bot, the Ton Station, Mr. Soon, over on Telegram's popping off the most. 146% up for your Telegram bots. Tap to earn also on Telegram. Ton. People love the tap to earn games on Telegram. If Americans don't buy foreign products, the tariff increase will disappear. There you go. Yeah, they just kind of fade away. We need to be buying local, supporting local. Support your small businesses. That's what I can't stand about these interchange fees on these credit cards. I ran a small business for 9, almost 10 years, and I got sick of paying the interchange fees. When someone owed me, a customer owed me $100, when they paid $100, I only got $98 of that, guys. Where'd the $2 go? I lost it to Visa, American Express, the interchange fees, and Walmart gets a deal on those. So that's why more people go to Walmart to save money. But that's killing mom and pop businesses. Not to mention what happened in 2020, killing the businesses, shutting them down. But let's just remember that mom and pops is where it's at. Solana token, 22.2. Whatever that is, up 25%. Zodiac themed. Not sure what some of these categories are, but I just started taking a look at it. Kind of gives us an idea of the space. IP memes, hyperliquid ecosystems up. Pump funds up to only 2% though. I just like to kind of look at what's going on. Pay attention to what's dropping. What's doing the best. Memes are even, 0.37% down. And it breaks up to the different ecosystems. Pretty cool to look at it this way. That way we can stay informed. But looks like Telegram is most popular today. The Telegram bops and the Telegram tap to earn games. Cool. Let's keep going. Check out the Bitcoin dominance chart. Today we're sitting at 60% still. Let's look at the 3-month Bitcoin dominance. There you go. We're still hovering around 60%. Let's look at the all-time Bitcoin dominance chart. It's always good. When in doubt, zoom out, guys. When in doubt, if you're looking at the quick time frames, be careful out there. That's it's not, unless you're trying to trade. I don't see that as a very important thing, the quick time frames, unless you're just kind of keeping up with it like we're doing here. 60% we're at now. The low was 32% back in 2018 during that alt run. But that'd be fine with me right about now. What else is going on in the world of crypto and distributed ledger land? Bradley says we need that Bitcoin dominance to get to like 45. Yeah, I'll take it 45 or lower. What's up, Evan? Good to see you. Evan XRP /XLM. Guys, don't sleep on XLM. That's one of my favorite coins. I know we don't talk about it a lot. There's not a lot going on since the Sora bond release, but we'll keep an eye on it. Where's my $2 1985 movie, Better Off Dead? Great movie. Okay. Lizard King was in Mexico. Nice. I was watching what was a YouTube show the other day, the top 5 countries to move as expats, expatriates, the cheapest places to retire, for Americans, that places that welcomed Americans. Basically, Mexico, Panama. Over here, over there was Estonia. What was the other ones? It was not Portugal. I know Portugal's good for crypto though. It was Montenegro over there on the other side of Italy, and I think Estonia as well. I don't know. It'd be nice to do some traveling one day once this stuff starts popping off. It's good to know what countries are friendly to American. I think it's, you know, the way the media goes, though, guys. I think probably a lot of people have the wrong idea about different countries. Who knows, though? Lizard King says the DTCC Hidden Road document. Yeah, I saw something on that. I think I've got an X bookmark on that in just a minute. Today we got the calendar Floki mini bot release, a pre-sale for Floki. If anybody's involved in Floki, Telegram takeover AMA. That Telegram's popular. I hear it's really popular in countries like Iran. Lots of people playing those Telegram games. Tap to earn. Trump's going to grab Mexico and Canada, and he's going to make it one big party. Yeah, that'd be nice. You know, they talked about joining all the countries years ago. What was it? The currency they're going to try to use, was it the Amero? You never know, though. You never know. AMA with Pulse, founder for Pulse. Ask Me Anything. We've got talk with Paxos. Paxos is, I'm sure they're paying attention to the stablecoin bills going through Congress right now. What else do we have? Hydronet, WebDex Alpha. Had a big exploit yesterday on that SUI blockchain because they're using layer 2 dexes and smart contracts to interact with the mainnet. There's smart contracts. Be wary, guys. The Amero. Yeah, I remember the Amero. Yeah. Maybe that's still a plan. Maybe we're not crazy for thinking this stuff's been worked on longer than we think. Who knows? Who knows, guys? Who knows? What else is going on? Kaito, Kaito airdrop. That looks like, what is that chain? I don't know. It's a Solana chain. It looks like an airdrop for Solana. Last chance to input a Solana address to Yaps to be added to the extended boop.fun. Kaito airdrop. All right. If you guys are into these Solana airdrops, there you go. Boop.fun. Some of this stuff is pretty wild. Some of these meme coins. Back to the calendar. BitTrue listing for WorldCoin now. If you want to get WorldCoin, they have it on BitTrue. CCIP and CCT integration. Slav protocol adopts Chainlink CCIP. When more and more chains are adopting this Chainlink cross-chain integration, I don't know though. I feel like there's going to be many avenues for interoperability. I think the most trusted, cheapest, fastest interoperable way, most decentralized one is going to win. So that's kind of what I'm betting on. I still need to figure out, are these fees being burnt from Chainlink, or are the node operators getting the fees because they tout the fees? They tout it like it's a good thing that they're collecting all these fees. And Sergey gets up on stage a couple weeks ago, and their whole goal for the CCIP, they're saying that the whole goal is to attract more and more users to pay more and more fees. So what good is that for the user when we have all these fees? What's up, Marcus? Good to see you in the chat. But yeah, I think we're going to a place where We're getting better. We're getting rid of these third parties and all these fees. So which solution's going to win? Well, that's what we're betting on. That's what we speculate on. I feel like, I don't know, I don't have any chain link, but I feel like I might be missing out, but something's preventing me from getting into it. I used to have some. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt to have a few, guys. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. Not financial advice on the channel. Redax hosts the AMA. Coinbase on-ramp. With the new Coinbase on-ramp support, you can now easily access Zeta directly with fiat. Okay. I hate these on and off ramps. So I hope we're going to a place where we don't need on and off ramps and have to pay fees getting on and off of the new system. As soon as we start getting paid in these stable coins, we're off to the races, guys. It's all about the stable coins and AI. Atomic Transactions Change. Ardor launches Atomic Transactions Change for cross-chain and smart chain contract operations. Another interoperability play. They all can't win. Can they? Ardor, never heard of this one. How many followers do they have? 71,000 followers. Ardor introduces Atomic Transaction Chains, ATCs, a game-changing feature enabling seamless cross-chain operations and smart contract execution. Read the Chinese article on WeChat. Okay. They're all trying for this. I mean, there must be something to this cross-chain stuff for value. You know, that's why they're getting into it. They see the value like we do, guys. Bradley says the Beck airdrop on Uphold, probably second week of June or so. Okay. Is Uphold running that, or I guess it's probably Zebek. I know you can get Zebek on Uphold, but maybe they don't. I guess, you know, they do integrate these centralized exchanges with some of the airdrops. So that's pretty cool if that's the case. You guys might want to hold some Zebek on Uphold. What's popping off on commodities today? Gold's up 1.93%. The rest of commodities are about flat. That makes gold at $3,359, about $140 under all-time high. Silver's at $33.50. Let's go silver. Real money. All right, come on. Let's get to the CryptoPanic.com. We're going to get this information in. And news coming out as we stream. Yeah, I don't know. Just need to hold Zebek on Uphold for the airdrop. I don't know, Marcus. Good question. Maybe Bradley knows. Where we're going, we don't need the rows. There you go. Yeah, Evan's right. Atomic settlement is the key to flipping the switch. Once we have atomic settlement, it's on. Yeah. All that stuff should be running in the background, you know. So we'll see what the value of the rails are. And all these people that think stablecoins aren't the rails, they have to run on something. They don't just run on their own stablecoins. Yeah, stablecoins have counterparties. And these public crypto rails, they have non-counterparty native digital assets that are not influenced other than entities that own them. You don't have to trust that they've got the collateral backing up the stablecoin with a native crypto asset like XRP, XLM. I love XPR network. Don't forget XPR, Metallica's ecosystem. They're locking in those credit unions. Okay, what other kind of news do we have? The SEC clarifies proof of stake regulations, excludes staking from securities laws. This came in 15 minutes ago. SEC clarifies proof of stake regulations and excludes the staking from securities laws. This one's coming out of CoinCU. Hester Peirce clarifies proof of stake staking securities law status. Institutions gain confidence in staking services. Could lead to increased proof of staking and liquidity. What's up, Jeffrey? Good to see you. When Evan's rich, he'll run on the white rails. Hester Peirce, I think it's Peirce actually. Hester Peirce, head of the SEC's crypto working group, declared on May 19th, a couple of days ago, that the proof of stake and DPoS, delegated proof of stake, technical actions are beyond securities laws. Well, no duh, Hester. Jeffrey, you need to straighten her out. Go tell her what the common sense laws are. This announcement brings crucial regulatory clarity for U.S. institutions engaged in staking, potentially increasing institutional participation in proof of stake ecosystems. SEC exclusion from proof of stake from securities boost institutional confidence. They outline the aspects of proof of stake systems don't fall under securities regulations. Peirce emphasized that further guidance will clarify non-security activities and consensus mechanisms. She requires on-demand liquidity. Oh, damn. Marcus says XRP and XLM will be stable value. I can agree with that for sure. Only way ETFs work also. Yeah, so Bradley, about the ZBEC, he thinks that's the angle that Uphold holders you'll receive the airdrop. Uphold wants ZBEC liquidity on their platform. So I guess they base it off your Uphold wallet holding. Cool. As stated by Peirce Commissioner, technical behaviors that directly participate in proof of stake and delegated proof of stake consensus mechanisms, for example, low-level validation and attestation, node operation, and related software services are not within the jurisdictions of securities laws. Well, duh, we could have told her that. Jeffrey, you should have been telling her that all along. These activities are fundamental, technical, and do not by themselves constitute securities transactions. The SEC stance signals a shift towards facilitating wider adoption of staking by U.S. institutions. By excluding certain activities from securities laws, institutions can engage more confidently in staking operations, potentially increasing engagement with ethereal and proof of stake, delegated proof of stake networks. Major entities in the crypto and finance sectors view Peirce's position as a positive development for institutional participation in staking. Industry bodies have welcomed the clarity, enhancing trust in regulatory frameworks. The Securities Industry and Financial Markets Association expressed support for these efforts, noting the balance between innovation and investor protection. I still feel like they're going to be liquid staking this stuff, though. They're going to be custodying these cryptos with a qualified custodian and sending the same coins, splitting them off, some kind of derivative or twin of the coin to a staking platform after they've been custodied. It's kind of weird to think about, but we heard the SEC talking about that, about liquid staking without saying the word liquid staking. Former SafeMoon CEO convicted of securities fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering. Yeah, I mean, that's what the first thing I thought back in the day when I heard SafeMoon. I was like, well, that's something's up with that. That says it's not safe to me, the name like SafeMoon. Of course, it all matters when you get in and get out, right, guys? U.S. is going big on crypto. Yeah, we just saw Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent say they're going big on crypto.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. Past administration starved and almost made extinct a lot of these companies and pushed it offshore. So what we want to do is apply the highest U.S. regulatory and AML standards to digital assets.
They're going big on digital assets. I like the way that sounds. Going big. The U.S. Sounds good to me. They got to get the laws in place. Then we're ready to go. Trump threatens Apple with 25% tariffs for iPhones made overseas. Makes sense to me. Make them here in America. What's wrong with that? Oh, I forgot. You need cheap labor. Well, if you'd hire some Americans, pay them a little bit more, we'd have more money to buy American products. What comes around goes around, right? Leader of Quackbot malware scheme indicated as U.S. seizes 24 million in crypto. All this seized crypto. I think they've got a plan for it. We need to be out by the end of Trump admin, says Lizard King. Yeah, I guess it depends on what happens after that, you know, where we're going after that. Hey, like it or not, Luna Classic is CI. When do I stop accumulating XPR? Yeah, to each his own. You'll know when the price goes up. You've had enough accumulation. I haven't bought XRP in a long time. That's just me, though. To each his own. Like it or not, Luna Classic is making a comeback. Crazy, but it's happening. You know, I've always said that I've always been a fan of Luna. I feel like they were attacked. There's a lot more to that story. I feel like they needed to make an example out of the synthetic stablecoin. The US Terra was a threat. US Terra was underpinned by a non-counterparty digital asset. It's the only stablecoin in the world. Well, there's probably a few like it, but only one I know of that's backed by a trustless coin. Of course, it crashed. Yeah, Terra or Luna crashed. But I like the way it was set up personally. Backing these stable coins with printed Federal Reserve notes. That's where we're going, I guess. I guess the fiat system will live on unless Trump does something major about it. But I would rather see, once we find a floor price, you know, Luna never found a floor. Crypto still hasn't found a floor to me, a utility floor. But once a new price floor is set and we're building from there and we're not facing all these headwinds, yeah, back your stablecoin with a non-counterparty digital asset. Collateralize 150% worth. Not Federal Reserve notes that are printed at will. That's what you call hard backing there. Yeah, it got the first mover disadvantage, for real. They made an example out of Luna. I was never a fan of Mike Novogratz or anything like that either, or Daquan. I just like the simple fact that it was a stable coin backed by a non-counterparty native digital asset. And remember, XRP had one as well. There was a coin. What was it? Who was that? They discontinued that right before all of the Luna stuff happening. Now, tell me that's not a coincidence. There was a coin. What was it called, guys? They were trying to take XRP and collateralize it and issue a stable coin with that back on the XRP ledger. I can't remember the name. Was it Trust Wallet, or was it them? I can't remember. Marcus got his Zebek bag secured before the rise. Good timing, Marcus. What about BSL? Yeah, I called BSL on the channel a couple weeks ago. That thing's been flying. I wish I would have got more. Conectr, you're so correct. My land, the more I listen to you, the more we have in common. Okay. I have a nice bag of Lunk. Yeah. Luna Classic. Got it on the cheap. Yep. Yeah, you never know. I'm not saying it'll make a comeback, which I hope it does for you, Bradley, but I just like the idea of it. And you can do that with any of these public crypto chains, you know? But no, the Congress doesn't want that. That's the last thing they want, is a threat to the dollar. Okay, what else do we have on crypto panic? Trump meme coin dinner attendees shocked by lack of access. I saw someone issued a meme coin at the Trump dinner. Where have I got that at? Let me check my bookmarks. Yeah, somebody's at the Trump dinner. Here we go. Rug Radio. Pump and dump live from the Trump coin dinner. An attendee at the dinner filmed himself deploying a dinner token and posted it to a Telegram group. He held 10% of the supply while another got 44%, got bundled by someone. Unclear if it was the same developer. Yeah, it probably was. Different wallets sometimes mean the same person. Dinner peaked at 450,000. The coin dinner peaked at 450K and then quickly fell as low as 14K. Naturally, buyers are angry, labeling this a scam and calling for jail time for the deployer. But this is him, I guess. Someone launched a Solana meme coin from the Trump dinner. Let's see the video.
As crypto businesses fled to other countries, they were just leaving this country. And, ultimately, no matter what it is, I always put the country way ahead of the business about.
There's the meme.
And, ultimately, no matter what it is, I always put the country.
That's not the meme. That's his fight dinner plate thing. Or I guess they get that when they go to the dinner. Is that a collectible card, maybe?
Way ahead of the business about.
So he picks up his phone. He's at the dinner, crypto dinner.
500,000.
Choose how many dinner you want to buy. Oh, this is just him buying it.
For a painting, never painted before. That did not work out well.
Trump making a joke in the background.
I always believe that it's just too big. It's so big. It's just more important than somebody's business. More important to me, not even a contest. And you put it, become president of the United States, and you want to see people thrive and succeed. The Biden administration persecuted crypto innovators, and we're bringing them back into the USA where they belong. They were fleeing. They were leaving our country, just as I promised. And I can say that about AI, by the way, but they weren't persecuted.
So you know that they're going to complain about that now. People need to put on their big boy pants and realize that, you're in control of yourself. You don't get dumped on if you don't buy it. You got to be willing to take the risk, and a lot of people get burnt taking the risk. Marcus loves Loan, Metal DAO, Metal Blockchain, and XPR Network. Me too, Marcus. I've got all of them. Yeah, I like the fact that they split it up. I could tell right away, they started out being regulatory compliant, issuing the different coins like that for different sectors, Some of these coins are going to be forced to take a route, They're going to be forced to be a settlement coin or a security coin, whereas Metallica's released 5, including the stable coin. 5 different coins for different purposes. Yeah, I thought that was neat. We just got to get some more liquidity over there on Metal X. And it's crazy how the subnets are just like the sidechains in XRP. You know? Same thing. They're infinitely scalable. And do we have that amendment yet for XRP? For the sidechain amendments yet? That thing's been up for vote since January 9th. Okay, we've got open for voting dynamic NFT, permission domains, credentials, multi-purpose tokens. Here it is, cross-chain bridge. It's still open, yeah. Since January the 9th. Have y'all ever seen an amendment that has gone this long without being voted on? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't think I have. Cross-chain bridge, open for voting. Adds cross-chain bridges enabling the transfer of digital assets between networks. For example, between the XRP mainnet and the XRP sidechains. Guys, that means there could be thousands of different XRP ledgers for different use cases, all using the main native digital asset from the main chain, the original XRP, to travel back and forth between the different XRP ledgers. That's wild, isn't it? That's infinite scalability right there. There's no limit. But it's just wild that we don't have any word on this going through or not. We'll keep an eye on it, though. Here's an oldie but goodie from Resist CBDC, October 2025. 2025, my governing council has to decide whether to move forward or not.
We have a cutoff date, which is October. So October 2025, my governing council has to decide whether we move forward or not. So that's an important date. My strong hope is that by then, the European Parliament has passed the legislation that will support the technological work, the policy work, the unified rule book that we are working on so that we can launch.
This year, guys, Fed now goes live July 14th, and the EU has to decide by October whether they're going to launch a CBDC or not. Or are they going to take the American route, stable coins? So what's forcing them to do it by October? Well, the United States is working on stablecoin legislation right now. Well, what if they pass stablecoin legislation and we get rolling here on these new stablecoin rails? They can't get left behind. They have to decide which route to take. All right, we've got Callie's posting Metallica's Q1 2025 report is out, and it's a game changer. Over 700 plus credit unions have been onboarded via the MDDC partnership. Providing real world adoption is here. Metal blockchain is building compliant, scalable finance. This isn't hype. It's history in the making. Read it, understand it, be early. 700 plus credit unions have been onboarded from their Q1 report. Who else does quarterly reports, guys? Ripple. Well, I think they've slowed it down now because they've used that to go after them. I love that Metallica has their own quarterly reports. Guess we can take a quick look at the PDF. PDA's public displays of affection. What's up, Yogi? Good to see you, buddy. Q1 2025 report for Metallicus. They have they had the big Bonify acquisition. They've got their banking innovation program, Metal blockchain advancements, the WebAuth wallet, the Metal identity. They're pioneers of that, guys. KYC, the wallet, Metal blockchain's early on that. 13, we're hiring. On the financial side, we're seeing growth across our core products. Total revenue is up 71% versus previous quarter. Wow. Revenue from trading fees increased by 115%. On-ramp revenue increased by 70%. DEX revenue grew by nearly 90%. KYC verified users on MetalPay increased by 3%. And KYC verified users on XPR grew 14%. I might keep this open and look at it later. Look at this Q1 report from Metallicus. Very cool. Cool. What else do we have? From Ripple 1 hour ago, Brad finally did one of the 60-second crypto bits. It's happening. Institutional access to crypto is accelerating from the launch of XRP futures and ETFs on the CME. That's right, that started Monday. And NASDAQ just this week. It's clear the market structure is maturing and exposure to crypto is expanding. So you got Brad for 60 seconds. He unpacks the excitement around crypto ETFs and a special crypto in 1 minute.
I'm definitely hurt, but also excited that I was overlooked for years before being on here, but now here I am. Hi, I'm Brad Garlinghouse. This is Crypto in 1 minute. 1 minute on why are people excited about crypto ETFs. I think there's two main factors going on here. One is, for the longest time, institutional investors primarily trading on Wall Street, really haven't been able to access crypto directly. Their options were to either self-custody, onboard with an exchange, and some people don't like centralized exchanges for a whole host of reasons. So this was really the first time you had institutions be able to go on Wall Street and trade directly in crypto. This is an unlock for a couple reasons. For capital that couldn't come in, whether it's an endowment, whether it's a pension fund, even mutual funds that didn't or couldn't access crypto, now they can. The second thing is, it really is institutionalizing the entire industry of crypto. I think it should be no surprise that the Bitcoin ETF was the fastest ETF ever to get to $1 billion in assets. I think it passed 10 billion in assets faster than anyone as well. And today I think we'll eventually close in on the gold ETF, and that's in 1 minute.
Yeah, that Bitcoin ETF was the biggest ETF ever for Bitcoin. Well, let's see what XRP does. I don't believe we've had as much behind the scenes buying of XRP throughout the years like there has been in Bitcoin. So I really feel like we're here before a lot of these big companies can get in. So I think we're in the right place at the right time, guys. Marcus says that Metallicus is buying up the competition. Yeah. And they're a nobody. Yeah, it's underappreciated, underheard of. Yeah. Okay, we're investing.com. We've got Trump greenlighting the Nippon merger with U.S. Steel. So Nippon's greenlight a merger, bringing back steel in America. There we go. Pittsburgh Steel. I love it. Pompeo saying Circle doesn't fully comply. Tether is not even in the U.S. It's outside the U.S. It wouldn't comply. The stablecoin shakeout has begun. From Pompeius.
to create a dollar-backed stablecoin is an important strategic asset.
Trump World Global?
Well, they would have to comply with the new federal law.
Right.
And no one right now complies with the work that we've done in the House or Senate on a stablecoin act. Circle doesn't fully comply. Tether's not even in the United States. It's outside the U.S. It wouldn't comply.
There you go, not complying. Nobody's in compliance yet with federal laws. Now, as far as I know, the $10 billion threshold is for federal compliance, and below that is for state compliance. So there's no one complying with federal stablecoin laws yet. Jeffrey, do you think the Ripple Circle deal is already done behind closed doors? Very possible. Yeah, who knows? I think it's weird that we know about the initial, the offer. Why would we know about the Ripple offering stablecoin X amount? Why is that out in the public? Isn't there strategies behind these companies buying things or whatever? God, it seems like it's all just planned out, right? Who knows, guys? 5 times 8 times 9 equals 360. Cool. It's coming full circle. Yeah, the circle will close. Coinbase circle. What's Coinbase got to do with Ripple as well? Time to close the circle. Yeah, it keeps getting tighter and tighter, right? That's the not circle, but that's Coinbase. The C keeps getting tighter and tighter. It's almost a circle. Tether's going to collapse, says Bradley B. Yeah, that's what even Brad Garlinghouse said. That's kind of the next black swan, if there is. I've kind of felt like, though, if Tether goes under or whatever, what's the easiest way to get out of Tether? The most liquid way for as many people as possible to get away from Tether. Well, they can't go back to the company. That's going to fold, right? So they're going to be on exchanges or DEXs, getting out of it, going into other cryptos or other stablecoins, right? So that means other cryptos might go up if Tether goes down. I don't know, just an oversimplified way of looking at it maybe, but we shall see. Yeah, I like Uphold, Marcus. You guys keep chatting with me. If you don't have a wrench, keep chatting with me. I'll see you. I wanted to hold off on wrenching up anybody for a little while, to make it seem like it's not so all Blue Crew, But I know you guys are Blue Crew at heart. Keep chatting with me, and I'll get you a wrench one of these days. I like how it's kind of even, though, with not everybody being the blue wrenches, but yeah, that's why you got to get in here and chat with me. Appreciate you guys, as always.
So if we have a high standard, the world will come to that high standard for enforcement and for definition. And, if the Trump coin can meet that definition, so be it. There'll be multiple competing stable coins.
I feel like that Trump coin's a distraction. Like Trump, it always seems like he's ahead of the game. Like he's got the counterpoint view already played out, or the, you're doing it, so why can't I do it? This whole system, guys, it's always been pay to play. And Trump's doing it transparent-wise. Kind of like Ripple's been transparent, and they get attacked for being transparent about their pay to play. It's kind of the way I look at it. But, pay to play, that's been every avenue of every political appointee or elected official in the history of the government. It's always been pay to play. And with our tax money, most of the time, this isn't even involving our tax money. And now it seems like Doge can't get it through Congress's head about spending. Congress still wants to spend, and shoot down Doge. Evan said that's what's going to happen when all the Bitcoin maxis start buying XRP. Yeah. 867-5309, call Esther. I had a buddy of mine back in school, growing up, high school. His number was 867-8309, I think what it was. He always got that somebody calling by mistake, trying to play a prank, trying to call that number. That was a good song. Marcus was on Instagram arguing with Bitcoin Maxi just now. So annoying. Yeah, they don't get it. And it's okay. You don't have to argue. Yeah, give it up. You're wasting your breath, says Bradley. Yep. Can't change their minds. They've been sold. You know, the way they don't look outside the box. They don't think someone like me or you could be informed enough. They'll listen to a Kramer, though, or Max Kaiser, or Michael Saylor. Can you imagine? Because they're told to, you know. Those are the type of people that just follow in line. They'll just walk right off the cliff. I don't know, guys. If you hold Bitcoin, I really hope you make good money at it. But God, I can't see how much higher it's going to go. It's already done a lot. I don't feel like buying 0.000002 Bitcoins or whatever. And now they're talking about changing the supply of Bitcoin. They've got, who was it? Twitter guy, who used to own Twitter? Dorsey. Yeah, the other day he was talking about increasing the supply of Bitcoin, calling Satoshis Bitcoins. So if you got 0.00001234 Bitcoins, which is 1.234 sats, he wants to call it 1,234 Bitcoins and just move the decimal place. I think that's hilarious. Increasing the total supply of Bitcoin. Imagine that. Yeah, 1 million per Bitcoin. It's only a 10x. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the Model T Ford is the greatest car ever. Carol Shelby enters the room. That's what a Bitcoin Maxi is like. Yeah, he can't ever improve. Double down on Blockbuster, right? That's because we're in 3D. We're outside the box. Yeah, I guess so. I guess we're on some kind of a different frequency, right?
In my view, you see the headlines today that the large banks are thinking about collectively having a stable coin. It's a new payment rail in Web.
The large banks are collectively thinking about having a stable coin. Which banks are those? Looks like it's JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo all exploring a joint crypto stablecoin. All working together. You got three of the biggest liquidity banks in there. Now, these are the banks right here, guys, that all the little small banks, all your credit unions, they are forced to send payments through these big liquidity banks to send a wire like overseas or wherever. But now you've got these big four wanting to use their own stablecoin. So that to me says they're going to be on the same kind of level playing field as these smaller banks, guys. They're going to try to team up together and get some kind of a market share. So hell, they might even buy out a company like Ripple. Maybe that's what we're looking at. A joint crypto stablecoin. Is that going to be an existing stablecoin? Or is it something brand new? Lizard King, what I can't understand is if the new rails will save banks money, why are they fighting? Yeah, why are they fighting it so hard? Yeah. Well, it's going to save the smaller banks. It's not going to save these big banks right here. These banks are going to lose market share. These are the big liquidity banks. They're the ones who charge the smaller banks all these fees. Fees. That's what it's all about. What's up, Turple Nurple? Good to see you. Oh, you changed your name. Turple XRP. Lee. L.E. Brian Hasney says nobody trusts anyone still. All they need is a neutral bridge asset with tremendous liquidity globally. All this means is that crypto is taking over financial markets and banks are on the brink. There will be winners and losers. Shrell says they feel the tide shifting away from them. Nobody will need legacy banks soon. Everything can be handled privately or on blockchains devoid of middlemen with their hands in our back pockets. I cannot wait for banks to be downsized, just like what's happened to corporate media. I'll give that one a like as well. Some good comments here. Imagine that. Almost certainly because of this, congratulations to everyone. The banks are here and they're here to take over. No escape now. You know, if they can agree on a stable coin, they can all agree on their own rules, right? Because stable coins, there's no difference between a stable coin and a CBDC except the fact that the rules that they put on it. But what's great is it's going to be democratized. So we'll have the open market choosing which stablecoin wins. You better make it attractive and you better make it non-evil, whatever word I'm trying to think of. Non-totalitarian. Jeffrey says, I guess it just depends on the fees the banks make from their legacy systems outweighs their savings. Yeah. They held off as long as they can. It's undeniable now. They have to switch. Yeah. And they'll become advisors too. A lot of them will be advisors. But yeah, they're going to lose deposits. Deposits will be tokenized into stable coins. But be careful, guys, because we've seen how government can take over a private entity. We saw what happened with Twitter. Employees got in there from government into a private company. So that could be no different. We could be looking at basically a US CBDC right here, not a stable coin. Who knows? Just got to be aware and be, try to push for and vote for our dollars. Vote with our dollars. The best we can. Pre-funded accounts go away. That's not a wash. That's a huge increase. It is. Getting rid of all the Nostro Vostro accounts around the world, putting that money back into the banks. Now, these four here, they're going to get the most of that because they've got the most Nostro Vostro money out there. So they're going to get most of their money back. So what are they going to do with that money? Well, I guess they're going to buy treasuries with it, right? So they can buy the collateral for the stable coins. I guess they're going to put it into T-bills. They're talking about the T-bills. Well, these stablecoin issuers will be the biggest T-bill buyers in the world.
Three on a blockchain to compete with other payment methodologies. I don't view it as a store of value. I view it as debit cash, credit stablecoin, buy something institutionally or as a consumer.
Do you see it as hopefully disinflationary, meaning that it should take cost out of the system?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, blockchain generally, what attracts me to crypto is not crypto, not Bitcoin, but the operating system benefits of blockchain. I think it.
Yeah, once you learn that, you learn about the non-counterparty native digital assets of some of these DLTs.
Takes costs out of the system. I think for consumers, it creates accessibility. Look at the Benji, which is Franklin Templeton's money market account. Yeah. That's been tokenized. They can offer that at a higher rate and a lower dollar amount to customers because the cost has been taken out.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pivot, and that's why we see this right here. They have to pivot, and you've got these four big teaming together. I don't know, guys. This looks kind of monopoly-ish when you've got the big four teaming together on a common stablecoin. I don't know if I like that or not. I'd rather have a bunch of decentralized stablecoins. Give them each bank their own stablecoin. That's just me, though. I mean, let them interoperate. Let them go through a DEX. When you send Bank of America stablecoin to Chase, let it go through a DEX and convert to the Chase stablecoin. Yeah, there's a lot of socialism going on, isn't there, Lizard King? That's because you got all these betas that have gotten in finance that were picked on in school. Now they get up in there and they make their own rules and try to level it out for everyone where the strong don't survive, where the weak survive. That's what's been going on with a lot of things. And sometimes you need to fail. You need to fall down so you get back up and get better. Improve yourself. How are you going to improve if you're being handed a silver spoon the whole way? And you've rigged the system with using government to rig the system against free markets. Jeffrey says, I know a few people that work for the local health authority. Anytime changes are happening, there are so many meetings and layers to get anything done. It takes forever. Imagine banks are similar. Yeah, it's unreal, the rules to change something, what has to happen to change something. Now suddenly they don't like friction. Yeah, that's weird. It's only socialism until they take the guns. Then it's communism. There you go. That's a big difference right there. Amen to that. Yeah, I think that's for weak people, though. Socialism and communism, that's just for weak people that don't want to work harder. Yogi says, failure is a positive thing in the end. Yeah, totally. Bags Pack says, Mr. Crypto Boombastic. I love that name. Let's go. What else do we have today on the Conectr stream? Oh, Marshall Hayner from Metallicus has responded to Trump. You know, guys, Marshall Hayner is the only Trump guy in crypto, really, that's that I see posting positive things about what Trump's doing, some of the moves he's making. I mean, he's always responding to Trump. He's MAGA. Trump posted today or yesterday, last night, the one big beautiful bill that's passed the House of Representatives. This is arguably the most significant piece of legislation to ever be signed in the history of our country. The bill includes massive tax cuts, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, tax deductions when you purchase American-made vehicles, along with the border security measures, pay raises for ICE border agents, funding for the Golden Dome, Trump savings accounts for newborn babies, and much more. And to send the bill, he wants to send the bill to his desk as soon as possible. There's no time to waste. And then basically you got our Marshall Hayner from Metallicus responding, Dear Mr. President, His Excellency Donald Trump, we were promised no tax on American crypto. Can you fulfill your promise and bring trillions of dollars of businesses to the U.S.? We also humbly request a plan to get spending under $6 trillion and a national debt repayment plan. Thank you. There's some good sense coming out of Marshall right there. And you know he's developed the Doge voting mechanism on the XPR network. Very cool. So we can finally have a voice. Very cool what blockchain is bringing with the possibilities that it's bringing. Just like to show you guys how Marshall's bullish with the current admin. So much like he's a fan. Love to see that. You don't see many in crypto responding to the president like that, out in the open like that. Andrew is making a bold statement. The more stablecoins and other issued assets that are issued on the XRP ledger, the more it will benefit the XRP. You see, the entire game plan for XRP is to have as many quality assets issued on the XRP ledger as possible, followed by XRP becoming the neutral bridge asset on the ledger to swap these assets. So anyone thinking a stablecoin being issued on the XRP ledger is bearish for XRP, they're missing the entire picture. So true, Anders. You got to have the rails. You got to have the wallets. They require XRP to open the wallets. You require XRP to pay the fees. And the fees make the quantity of the supply go down. They're deflationary, which is bullish in itself. And you got to have all these issued assets in pairs with liquid non-counterparty XRP. That's everything right there. We got Vincent down here. You don't worry about the legacy banks getting into stablecoins. They for sure will want their own payment mechanism where they control everything and they'll make all the money. So I definitely worry about that. Well, that's a siloed, centralized, walled garden is what he's talking about. You know, Schwartz addressed that back in the day. So you've got to transfer value eventually out of that walled garden. Yeah, you can have 4 banks, Citibank, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. You can have all those come together on a single platform, but it's still a walled garden. Value has to transfer out of that, in and out of that somehow, even if it's 4 banks. They still have to be able to transfer value out of that system. Andrew responds, it's inevitable, but I find it highly unlikely all banks would decide to use just one stablecoin. On a global scale, that would be impossible, I would say, because of sanctions and enforcement action policy by different jurisdictions, and stablecoins will need interoperability. No way around that. A lot of banks will issue stablecoins on the XRPL when regulations are clear. That's a good response. On the roads, yeah. Well, that's right, Turple. Mr. EX says XRP is the bridge token. Even if users trade USDC to URC, the path often looks like USDC through XRP to the EURC. This requires buying XRP in real time. MJR says, not so bold as you think. The Stellar network already has accomplished much of what you state. Assets are issued on the Stellar network and are light years ahead of their XRP ledger. Sure, more retail focus, just the same, and far ahead of Ripple. Guys, I will agree that the Stellar network probably has more development than the XRP ledger, from what I've seen. But that doesn't always mean that it's going to have more value, right? There's a big thing in crypto with trust. And what coin has been around the longer and has more activity? You know, more examples of what it's done. It's proven itself, right? So that's to be said. You know, we can't just say this coin's better and it's going to do better. Well, not all the time. It might have something to do with connections or reliability versus development. I just don't like ruling things out. I like to leave my mind open and looking everywhere. Cosmos is posted. Very underrated. I cannot believe that this system is still in the gutter. The Cosmos system, the original interoperable chain. List your top 3 Cosmos chains. Let's just kind of look through the comments here and see what everybody's getting into on Cosmos. What coins? Of course, you have the native Atom token, the main one. Chris is into Corium, Omniflix, and Jackal. John's in the secret network because of private smart contracts by design, encrypted inputs, outputs, and state. Secret network, the first decentralized smart contract built on TEE technology and decentralized confidential computing hub of Web3 and AI. I guess, yeah, private smart contracts sound like an important thing. For sure. Yeah, Ripple has the relationships. That means a lot. Relationships. Only because XRP spent time in court? Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Imagine all the ETH developers that felt comfortable going to Ethereum after that quasi-free pass. Imagine all those developers going to the XRP ledger back in the day. Imagine where we'd be at now. Turple says, Beef Burgonon. Am I saying that right? I know Dual says it right. Dual Citizen says it right. Yeah, that was the night of the deal. I think that was the big deal night. And we're just seeing it play out, right? What other coins are on Cosmos? Akash, Jackal, and DVPN. Osmosis, Omniflix, Akash. Just seeing what everybody's into. Neutron. You know, there's not many meme coins, is there? Let me see. I know there's a few. Let's go to the map of zones right quick on Cosmos. This Explorer here is pretty cool. You can see the map here. Look at all these coins, IBC compliant coins, guys. There's no other system like this that's this far advanced with this much interoperability on the base layer, the IBC layer. Cosmos, Axelar, Saga, Secret, SEI. I know World Liberty was in SEI. Osmosis, Noble, Neutron, Initia, DYDX. But it's cool. You can go to Cosmos Hub and you can see all the coins that it connects to, but go right beside it. DYDX only connects to those. Not even like an eighth of the coins. And Initia only connects to those. So that's interesting to see how that goes. Osmosis connects to all of them. That's your AMM swap. Osmosis. But most of these coins, guys, they're not like just BS projects. They all have a use case. Not all, but I mean, if I just go down the list, starting from the top, Let me zoom in just a little bit. Get rid of the map. Noble SEI Osmosis. Where's the memes? Celestia, Stride, Akash. That might be a meme. Number 18. There's Terra Luna. Bradley B. Runs on IBC. In the Luna crash, I thought I could buy the dip, threw $200 at it, and it's worth 5 cents now. Oh, yeah, I've had a couple like that. Bradley B says it may be coming back. I don't know. I like the idea of it, but the regulations, it's not there. They're not going to allow it. From what I've seen, they're not going to allow the algorithmic backed stable coins. I think that's what you call it when you back it with crypto or crypto backed. They want those Federal Reserve notes backing everything. Insane. Yeah, but look at all these good projects, though. All these use cases. Fetch AI, Sentinel DVPN, Juno, Corium, Terra Classic, Evmos. There's a meme, Jackal. There's only a few memes, which is interesting. You can really tell a project by its all its coins. You know, you look at Solana, it's nothing but meme coins. And of course, the XRP Ledger has a lot of meme coins. The Lizard Kings, the show is great because MrConectr can read misspelled words and correct bad grammar on the spot. Yeah, I know from experience. Yeah, I've been chatting a bunch of times and misspelled words and autocorrect. Yeah, I just read through it the best I can. Yeah. Map of zones. Cool, cool. What else do we have on our bookmarks? Oh, yeah, we had the, I forget who was telling me about this yesterday. XRPI is live on Robinhood now. It's an XRP ETF. I don't think it's, I don't think we've got the physically settled ETFs, though. Must be like cash settled as far as I know. XRPI is an actively managed fund offering price participation in XRP using near-term futures and XRP-linked instruments. The fund does not directly invest in XRP. That's what we're waiting on. Funds to directly invest in XRP. The listed name is XRPI, is Volatility Shares Trust, XRP ETF. QSteph says these aren't a good thing. They solely exist to short somehow. How? I don't know, but generally that's all they exist for, is to serve as a locate. The XRP ETF on Robinhood marks a pivotal moment for us. It's just the beginning of our journey to the top. Jeffrey says, I just can't get into XRPH, you guys. I was into it. I caught the wave up with the AMM. Along with XRP, I was in the AMM at the same time, and they both went up back in, what was it, November. But I got out of XRPH. I just don't know enough about it. You know, I need to keep up with the coin to stay in it. Exciting milestone for real estate tokenization in Dubai. The Dubai government has issued digital assets directly on the XRP Ledger blockchain through a local issuer. cutting transaction fees by 50%. I saw a creator the other day talking about XRP made a partnership with a country. But guys, this stuff that XRP doesn't make partnerships. This stuff is open source. Anybody can just create a gateway on the ledger. They don't have to contact Ripple. They just do it. It's not a partnership with the XRP. Nothing in the medical industry moves fast, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. Stand corrected. Yeah, besides that one thing. Yep. So this issued asset directly on the blockchain through a local issuer, cutting transaction fees by 50%. This enables secure on-chain ownership and demonstrates XRP Ledger's ability to support efficient, transparent, and cost-effective government asset issuance. It stands as a compelling real-world use case of XRP Ledger technology in the public sector, showcasing how blockchain can streamline processes and reduce costs for institutions and individuals alike. Yeah, why wouldn't they? They all want to. They don't want to be siloed liquidity. They want it to be able to be liquid everywhere. So that's why they issue on the ledger. And here's Wrath of Kahneman saying, here's the LinkedIn announcement of that Dubai real estate tokenization. Exciting news. Finally, tokenization is reality in Dubai real estate market. Dubai's first title tokenized property is out. Register your interest and be one of the first investors to buy a piece of Dubai. In phase one, this is only open for Emirate ID holders, residents of UAE, as part of Dubai's land development project. So residents of Dubai can now tokenize their land titles on the XRP ledger. Nice. Proof of ownership like never before. Immutable proof of ownership. And this one from Bloomberg, we got UADA here. A stablecoin that does not pay interest, does not yield dividends, or otherwise have a profit, it's not a security. We talked about this earlier about Hester Peirce making this announcement. Otherwise, a gift card could easily be a security, says Mark UADA. He was the interim commissioner between Gensler and Atkins. So yeah, duh, we knew that.
A stablecoin that does not pay interest, does not yield dividends, or otherwise have a profit, it's not a security, because that is a fundamental part of what a security is. You have to anticipate making profits. Otherwise, a gift card could easily be a security. So stablecoins that don't have that profit motive, not part of the SEC jurisdiction. Now, there is, I think, some interesting ideas out there. Can you create essentially a tokenized money market fund that one might be able to exchange? We do have rules on that, but that would be something that we would say, all right, what sort of safeguards do we need on here? Is this reliable? Do we know that it's going to protect, or at least they're going to appropriately safeguard and custody the assets underlying the fund? So that's a little bit different, but the whole banks versus money market funds has been something that's going on for, at this point, I think almost 4 decades.
Banks versus money market funds. Stablecoins that don't have profit motive are not securities, not under their jurisdiction. Now, there's some interesting ideas. You can create essentially a tokenized money market fund that one might be able to exchange. We do have rules on that. But that would be something that we would say, all right, what sort of safeguards? Oh, yes, they're worried about our safety. Is it reliable? Yes. Protect the investors, of course. Do we know that it's going to protect, or at least appropriately safeguard and custody the assets? Yes, we need the SEC to hold our hands and prevent us from making a profit on a stablecoin, dividends on stablecoins. Yeah, we need all the help we can get, evidently, guys. We need them to hold our hands. Big government. We can't do anything on our own. We can't protect ourselves. We can't look at anything and determine if it's safe or not. We need more and more fees taken from us so we can be protected. Wow. Torpenoper is using Minecraft and Roblox analogies to teach 11-year-old about XRP. Oh, yeah, good. That's a great way. Reach them where they're at, says Yogi. Yeah, totally. They're ahead of the game already, if you're talking about it. The Gold Telegraph's Japan's biggest life insurer says unrealized losses on its domestic bond holdings are more than tripled since last fiscal year. Yikes. 3.6 trillion yen unrealized losses. Japan's bonds implode as Prime Minister calls debt situation worse than Greece. Yeah, I've heard Japan's the one to watch out for. Japan's insurers pulling back isn't just financial, it's geopolitical. Foreign capital is retreating. U.S. yields pressures rises. This isn't a surprise. It's the next phase of a controlled fracture. Watch who steps in when the old buyers step out. Yeah, that'd be telling. Watch who steps in when the old buyers step out. Who's the new buyers? I don't know. We shall see, guys. I think I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in today for another Conectr stream. I hope you guys are working into the weekend, have it off now, and can find something to do this evening and the weekend. Make the best out of your Memorial Day weekend. And don't get too worried about this stuff, guys. We know what we hold, right? Let's go. MrConectr out. Peace, guys.